just gonna do my normal little thingy where I just put my little lines along here. Yeah, you guys, so I don't think I've ever said anything like, let me know if you're not coming. But it does kind of help me to know if you're not coming, because then I don't have to wonder, could you not get on, or did I send out the wrong link, or I don't know what. Okay, so this picture is no, it's not really divided in half, is it? Okay, so I was just trying to see kind of how high up my horizon is. So just, the normal thing, trying to take control of the whole piece of paper at once, try not to let things not to spend too much time in any one place until I sort of know that everything's kind of going to be where I want it. I'm using a crap load of charcoal. Oh, Carol, she's going to be late. Okay. I'm not going to answer that, I don't think. Okay, I will. Okay. I know, right? So now that's right in the middle of the video. So now I have to cut and paste the video together. Okay, so I'm just kind of trying to get everything started and get everything kind of going. And I don't know what is up with me, but I have been like so out of control lately, which this is a little out of control, I think. And then I want to sort of know in the sky where my clouds are. I wonder if it's from oil painting so much or something. I don't know. Okay, there's that little tree. This comes over a little more. All right, so I'm just going to say that's enough drawing for now. So I'm using the gray paper. The red paper I think would be kind of a problem in the fall. I tend not to use it. I used to use green, but I realized I haven't had any green paper in a really long time. So yeah, I've been using this gray paper. And oh God, the cat is on the easel. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to start with the sky. And I think it's kind of interesting in the sky that in the fall, like I did not edit this photograph, but it just seems to me you get these warm colors in the sky in the fall on the clouds that you normally don't see. So anyway, I think it's from the, maybe from the leaves reflecting up, the light from the leaves reflecting back up or something. It's my theory. So these are the clouds in shadow. I'm gonna try something kind of weird. These are the clouds for the moment in light. I wanted this sort of, I didn't actually do anything to this photograph, but it already kind of had, this was such an interesting place back here. So I am going to start those clouds in there a little lighter. And okay, where was I? Oh yeah, blue. Up here. So generally speaking, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but generally speaking, once I've started, I'm not worrying about it very much right now because I'm probably never going to finish this. But I draw those little lines, but then I go on all the way up to the edges because it's really annoying to cut your mat and realize that you've left a little blank piece of paper. So I move my clips and I paint under them and I go clear out to the edge. This is just to make sure that I had compositionally, I didn't get anything too close to the edges. But once it started, I might as well just go ahead and go out to the edges. I managed to resist the purple in the clouds for that one color, but now I can't wait any longer.
Is this the mirror image of the photograph or am I crazy?
Oh, no, it is. Oh, it's so tempting, like right here, just to blast this with my lightest orangiest yellow. But I'm just gonna try to remain calm and just start with a darker something so I can get the kind of, get that looking like it's sort of a deep down under place and not just do the surface. So that's the thing I've kind of learned is you can't, God, okay, you can't just do the surface quality of stuff. You have to think about what's kind of going on underneath, down in the deep, especially with foliage and water too, both. And actually, I should be doing this. This is just Wrightsville, which I do love Wrightsville. I'm just going to start it all the same, the reflection and the real life. And but you should be aware that reflections in general are same color. Reflections in general are darker than what they're reflecting. But I'm going to deal with that later. And if you were really outdoors painting from life, I would say that it would be a good plan to work on the sky and the water reflections simultaneously before everything changes. In this case, I don't have to worry about that. Remember, if you have any questions, you should unmute yourself. And if you're not seeing me great big, just pin the image. Otherwise, hopefully it's all good. Oh, I left out that. Okay. Okay, so now it's Jesse interrupting my conversation. Okay, let's see. I want something for those really green parts along here, but I didn't want to start it too bright. Okay, so there I have my first time over, and now the plan is to make it better, although I have to tell you it's a little frightening because it is so crazy. But okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is I want to change this. Okay, but try not to get. And one problem in the fall actually is that it's very hard to mask things because you have so many trees that are just so completely different from each other. So I guess that was one thing I was kind of trying to show here is how to just how to keep it together, keep it together a little better. Nope, too light. So, I know I've been trying to talk quite a bit about how to make your painting kind of do what you want it to and not just be, oh no, that's how you do it. You drop your one piece of that and you can't find where it even went. All right, well. Yeah, how you don't want to just be a slave to nature in a way. You want to be sure that that your painting is going to end up like the way you want it to. And some of that, oftentimes, if I'm working from a photograph, I've already done that because I've edited it to make it kind of do what I wanted it to do. But I mean, it's something I struggle with too. So I don't want you to think I don't. It's just easier for me to see it in other people's paintings than it is for me to see it in my own. And you can kind of tell I don't spend too much time thinking about what I'm going to do. I just want to try it and see how it goes. And then I don't know, to me, there's not a big advantage in spending a lot of time thinking about stuff because I don't know how it's going to look until I put it up here. And also in the beginning, I'm not spending very much time at all on each area. I'm moving around quite a bit from area to area rather than like trying to finish one thing at a time. So I'm kind of trying to make everything move toward the finish at the same rate. And then more at the end of the painting is where I start to make decisions about what's going to come out, what's run. I mean, I know I'm trying to pull you right into this part. I mean, it all like is leading you into there. So that's clearly part of the plan. Okay, so I'm thinking, I'm not really thinking, I'm just looking. And I'm trying to bring up some of the colors in the sky, because the thing is about the sky is that if it's too dark, then your whole painting will be too dark. So I just want to make sure I kind of got it lighter. I did darken the sky in the picture. That's the only edit I think I made.
Matter, Bertie.
Are you talking to me?
No, to the dog.
Okay. Okay, so now. Yeah, so now, let's see, now. Finally, I think I have enough colors here in my paint box. So, okay, so I don't really start the trees with that light and shadow thing right away. I'm gonna do it now. I just wanted to be sure that I had, like the thing about trees is they aren't, I mean, you sort of look at them, oops, guess I'm really banging away on this thing here. I don't know, it's like a thing of, there was one day when I suddenly realized that the trees were actually not just a flat surface in front of me, that they were actually had all this depth, that the distance between the outer limbs and the closer limbs was really extreme. And the inner limbs and the closer limbs was a long distance from the limbs to the trunk. Yeah, so after that, I started trying to, kind of like I've said before with water, paint it from the bottom up, or from the tree, paint it from the inside to the outside. So this is something you can, you can do this, like that's just a first stab at it, not really intending to leave it like that. All of a sudden the color doesn't seem as good, but I guess it's okay. It's just so much better than the oil painting color. Oh yeah, so once again, because I'm painting from a photograph and I have that luxury that things aren't moving all the time, I spent too long on the sky and not doing the reflections at the same time. Also, a lot of times what I do nowadays is I take it, because I always have my camera with me, of course, I take a picture. Right when I start my color, I take a picture of the landscape I'm doing. And the other day, man, it was so lucky I did, because I sprayed it a couple of times and I'd worked all the way down. I mean, the last time I sprayed it, I'd worked about halfway down, and then everything changed completely. And you kind of know it's just never going to be the same again, exactly. So I was really happy I'd taken that picture and that I was almost finished anyway. So I was able to just, just finish from that photograph. I am sorry, I am stuck in the sky. Okay. Oh my God, it got late so fast, but that's because we had technical difficulties. And, I really meant to, I was really going to, work on that oil painting thing again, and I've just been kind of miserably sick with Theo's cold all week, so I just didn't do it. But maybe this week will be the moment. All right, I feel like I don't have anything dark enough, but maybe, so sometimes when you think that, really what it means is your other things aren't light enough. So if you're having trouble making dark, sometimes think of it that way, that really what you need to think about is making your lights lighter and the other way around. It's so often, it's not what you think is wrong that's wrong. It's something completely different. I think I want to make that come up a little higher, that tree, but also I think I let my my mountains back here get a little high. So see if I can bring them down without spraying it. And maybe you can tell, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess because I've been oil painting and I've been doing these things where I have to be, I just have no idea. I just feel like the most rowdy painter right now that I've ever been, which is good, maybe. And maybe it's good just for you to see how kind of out of control it is. And that, I think I just picked up a white because I just had to. All right, so I am sort of, so these trees here are darker. So happy you guys can't see me here hanging around. My
We
mouth
can.
being open. What?
We can.
You can't see me, can you?
Yes,
Oh, no. But can you see my painting?
we can see your paintings and we can see you doing the painting.
Oh,
We can see your hand, Janine. That's the only body part we see.
okay, good. I was like worried because after a certain
We
age.
can see the top of you. What are you talking about? We can see the whole Janine.
Yeah, I see her on the sidebar, but
Oh, I collapsed my sidebar. That's,
No,
Oh.
we can see you on the sidebar too. It's very good.
Yeah,
You look so good in the the sidebar.
my whole thing keeps moving away here. Which is why they tell you don't have your camera on your table. Because it was good advice. So that's pretty much how it goes in the beginning for me. Pretty, just kind of just get it going and kind of set up a whole thing. And oh, I didn't do this back here, down here. Maybe I'll try something else in the water. Let's do that. And so any ripples or anything I would do them later, not yet. Any ripples and stuff in the water, that's a really last thing I do. And I do it after it's sprayed. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? And I'll just, I will work on this again. next-
The only question I have is in the very middle where the reflection is reflecting that orange
Mhm.
field you want to focus on. You made the reflection so purple. I just wondered if, oh, there it comes.
Well, I did make it.
You were
up
making it
purple.
darker and now you're bringing it back.
Yeah, and I didn't want it to compete, and the reflections are pretty, I mean, they're not,
Yeah.
it's not, it's just as bright. I haven't gone all the way yet with my yellows either, so let me just see what I can do. Nothing at this point. Yeah, it's just scratchy, nasty. So I can't really do anything about that yet. And so then the next thing I would do when I come back to it, this is so important that you can redraw the thing. So, and that the best time to redraw is right when you come back. So, yeah, so anyway, it gets away from you, you know, and then you come back and you have kind of a fresh eye and you can just redraw it. And I never really exactly drew it. You're looking at places where it's going from light, medium to dark, and then other places, which is, so that's the soft transition in here, light, medium to dark. And then when the light starts again, like here, that's a slightly harder edge, you know, not. Anyway, so yeah, and so that you see that all the time, actually. You see it when you're doing portraits and when you're doing fabric and stuff. folds in fabric, that you want to look for the contrast between the harder edges and the softer edges. I just can't get this right, so I'm just going to move on. But you know what, I'm not ready really to get it right. This would not be, you know, this, it's not finished by any, when, you know, it's not at the finish exactly. And then here, you know, you have to make sure that all these clouds look like they're in front of the sky. The other thing is, like, the longer I work on stuff, I'm just sort of doing the same thing that I was in the beginning. So it's the, oh, not you. God, you're in my light. You gotta step alone. Go away. When I opened the door, the cat came in. Yeah, so there's, in a weird way, there's not as much to say because I'm not really doing anything different. I'm just doing more of it. I'm doing the same thing I always was. It's just that now I'm breaking things down into smaller shapes. And I'm not happy here, but you know, you can't just keep working on this one thing. Happiness. I was so happy that Grace suggested I do a fall scene, and then I was like, I don't have any fall pictures. I haven't been in Vermont this fall, and then I remembered that I took like 1,000 of them last fall, so that I never painted. So, alrighty, well, okay, so moving on. Okay, so let's see. I can do that. I'm not happy with any of my yellows that are in this box. What's up with that? You can see that went on a little better now after it was sprayed, where before I couldn't really get it to do anything back there. Did anybody else go see the Pastel show? The Pastel Society show? In Montpelier? Or
I went back to it. I went to the opening reception, but there's so many people then you can't see everything.
that's so true.
So I
Is
went
it-
back to it and it was wonderful. And a
Is
lot
it
of
s-
variety. So there's something for everybody.
Is it still there?
Yes, I think it's till the end of October, but I'm not positive. It might only be the middle. So get there soon.
It is till the end, Fran.
Okay, and Judy has some in there, and Carol, and Wendy
Grace,
Soliday,
And
and
Grace,
Joyce Kahn, and Grace. Yep. A lot of locals, but there are also people from all over the state I've never seen before, so that's kind of fun too.
oh, my nose is switching. Another good thing I think about spraying your work is that because it darkens the colors so much, you can actually come back and use some of the same things you used before, and now they'll look brighter because the others have gotten darker. And I guess, you know, I'm kind of doing more of a descriptive stroke, trying to do a descriptive stroke now of a little bit that suggests what stuff is. Landscape, you know, has so much texture that, you know, I was kind of always, the whole time through here, I was using kind of a descriptive stroke. This is really, okay, let's see. It's really hard for me to tell where the edge of the water is. But sometimes what you can do is just sort of there and that along that edge, there'll sometimes be like a little something that's kind of a little light line of water that kind of comes back. Yeah, you know, that's the only thing about starting as wild and reckless as I did, that I would draw more generally speaking, because it's like as you try to finish, that's why I don't go back and finish my demonstrations really, hardly ever, unless someone offered me a lot of money. But it's just that it's, you know, it's hard to put in all the stuff that you want to put in when it's not quite drawn right. And that the longer you work on something, the more apparent that becomes. So with reflections, they do tend to be darker than what they are reflecting. And that's because the reflections are reflecting the underneath of stuff. I wonder where Barb is. And then even though like in the photograph, the, you know, the reflections are almost as detailed as the real world, but maybe you would want to, you know, make a decision about what you were gonna, where you're gonna sort of focus your attention. Was it gonna be more on the reflections or the land? God, the sky is driving me nutty. It's so hard not to go back and work on it, even though I've about used up all my surface.
Janine, you've made it so much more interesting than the photograph.
Oh, good. Thank you. Always hoping. Otherwise, really, what would be the point? And this thing about making stuff repetitive, see, I've got those kind of, you know, that's a little repetitive, right? It's just, it's really hard for me just to be working away like a wild person and think about that. So I just, now I just can't think about that at the same time I'm thinking about whatever it is I'm currently thinking about. So I just have learned that I have to come back and just deal with that later. That I'm definitely going to make things repetitive, and that I'll just, that's almost like, you know, I had all those different stages of what your paintings, you know, that you're doing composition, you're doing light and dark, you're doing color. And it's almost like, I feel like I have to have a thing that would be getting rid of things that are repetitive. And the other thing in the fall, I notice, and you know, all times of year maybe, it's really, you find something that works really well and then you maybe use it a little too much. Oh, Ron, you sent me a message.
You can ignore that for them.
Oh, okay. But if people have artwork to show me, I'd be happy to see it.
Yeah, it's just the latest iteration.
Oh, of the Italy painting.
Same thing.
Yeah. God, are we ever going to get to go anywhere again? I mean, I know people are going places, but I just don't want to. Yeah, greens, even though there's not that much green in here, greens are such a pain. And like I would, you guys know that a lot of times I would start my greens with reds and stuff, but you just can't start your greens with reds when you have actual red trees that you've got to try to put in.
What did you say, Janine? I missed that.
Well, just, Anne was saying the other, earlier, Anne said the thing about how there's no green without orange.
Yep.
So a lot of times I do start my green trees with red. Especially, it's kind of a good trick to bring some of your trees forward if they have a little more, it's like things that are warmer in color come forward more. So you could start the trees that are closest to you with red and then add the green in. But if you have actual red trees that you're trying to paint, like in fall, then you can't really use red in your green because you just won't have enough stuff left.
So then what do you use, blue and purple?
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. I mean, you do whatever I didn't just make up the red thing. It's just something I observed. But it'd be like if you're doing red poppies or something, you probably don't want to start your greens around your poppies with red because it'd be very hard to make your greens look green then. I mean, your reds look red if your greens were also red. Does that make sense? Kind of.
Not even a little bit.
Okay. Someone else explain that better?
I love it.
No, I just think it's because I don't get color yet.
Well, everything it's a relationship. It's not like I'm copying what's there. I'm trying to figure out the relationship between the colors. So it's like those things you can look up on the internet where they put one color in front of a red background and then they put the exact same color in front of another background. And
Right.
they're completely different.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the deal, is that it's
Uh-huh.
What did you just put over the blue in the reflection on the left side? Some green or something to knock it back a little?
here.
That work? What color was that?
Which one? This, I don't know.
Yeah, right there.
At the left side. Oh yeah, I haven't even worked on that. I don't think.
No, you just put something across it and it knocked it back, and I just
Oh,
thought that
I
was
did
good.
green. I did green.
Yeah. Yeah, that works well, and so does that.
I think I just did more of the same thing.
It made it darker, then it settles down in the water more.
This is so beautiful, Janine.
Oh, thanks. I love you, Grace. Of course, that makes me want to quit. Like, what if it's not beautiful in the next 3 minutes? Oh, I only have 6 minutes anyway, so whew.
Yeah, how bad can you make it?
How bad could it get? Oh my
Yeah.
God, it could get bad. Okay, what was I gonna do? Oh, I think I'm gonna do this. I think this is what I'm doing. All right, so I don't know if I can do watery things here. Without spraying it again. Yep, gotta get that stuff darker in here. So see there, I mean, there aren't actual ripples, so I couldn't make my ripples stand out though. So I had to darken the sky and the water. That's the same thing. I keep having trouble because I'm holding my hand in such a funny way. I have gotten better though, I think, at getting my camera set up. Is that okay, or does that look like?
Yeah.
What do you think, Grace? Did I ruin it?
You did not.
Good. Good for you.
It's better.
I made it better. Woo-hoo. It's a little
Because
scratchy.
now it's flat and it goes back.
One thing you do want to try to do is keep your water strokes a little horizontally. Because, yeah, because that's kind of the thing about water, it's really flat. And if you, yes, cannot make that yellow go down. If you, yeah, it's really easy to make water look like a waterfall. So you don't want to do that. Yeah. So see, it's just, I mean, I would have to spray this again before I could do much more. I'm not even sure if I'm making it better anymore. No, I'm not. Oh, this could be fun. All right, let's just get rid of some stuff. Yeah, see, I had this big idea that I was going to make that back here be the most in focus part, but I don't know, I had to change that idea. Okay, good, phew.